Our next guest has a really important story to tell. It goes into body image and it goes into expectations and all these things that people do have to deal with, especially in the limelight. So Chloe Pink has joined us right now. Chloe, how are you going there
Yes.
today?
Yeah, good. I'm really overwhelmed, but good. I'm doing much better at the moment. So
Well, Chloe, for those that don't know, you are a newlywed. So first and foremost, congratulations on that front.
Yeah.
thank you. Thank
Um,
you, guys.
How's it feel to be married?
It actually doesn't feel any different. I don't know if it's meant to, but obviously it's exciting and I'm loving the new last name. But not much has changed for us internally.
I was going to say you did luck out with that last name. Chloe Pink
I
sounds
did, didn't
like a
I?
pop star. It's pretty cool. But unfortunately, Chloe, when you shared some of the images or the media shared some of the images from your wedding day to AFL star Toby Pink, that is when, unfortunately, what should have been the happiest time of your life took a bit of a negative turn. Do you want to walk people through what kind of came next and the fallout of that?
Yeah, of course. So obviously an article got posted of our wedding, which you naturally expect, like, congratulations. However, unfortunately, there were a lot of vile comments made, and unfortunately, there were a lot of them. And it felt like at the time there was more vile comments than there was congratulations. And I unfortunately that made it act really hurt me and made me upset. Although everyone says, "Oh, just have thick skin," or "Don't read them." It's really natural to read them, and I'm still a human at the end of the day. Um, so yes, that made me feel really upset. And then I ended up putting together those screenshots and I guess writing down a little note for myself. And about a week later, I randomly decided to post it on TikTok, not thinking that it would get the exposure it has. I was a bit naive and I just assumed that my family and friends would see it. And that was calling out, I guess, those vile comments. The screenshots I posted were only a few of them. And they were just calling out the people and saying that I'm a person. And just because I date an AFL player, I don't deserve anyone a certain body type, and no one's allowed to comment on my body. And then from there, I guess that's blown up, and it's obviously had a positive reaction as well as, and I guess the general public have obviously that's instigated a bit of anger within everyone, as it should. And yeah, I guess that's currently where I'm at.
Chloe, you make such a great point, and I love that you've taken such a strong stance on this because in the past, I think the line has been that once you're in the public eye, that is all part of it. But I think you're the first one that I can think of that's actually stood up and said, why is that part of it? Why should I have to put up with this? And I actually agree with you. And I understand in the past people have been too scared and they think, oh, well, I put myself out there, I deserve this. But that is certainly not the case. And I think the more we think about this, the more we've normalized it to a point. And I'm
Yeah.
sure you've heard people say, oh, well, that's just what happens and trolls will be trolls. But I love the point that you're like, no, we need to change the narrative. This is not okay.
Yeah, definitely. I think that's my biggest point. Everyone even now is still commenting, oh, well, that's part of it. And I myself, I told myself, oh, it's my husband's job. It's part of it, but it's not. And
Mm.
we keep excusing the behavior, and the longer we excuse it, it's never going to get better. I know just me calling out, it's not going to fix the solution. I'm not that naive, but at least if I can say that it's not okay, I'm not okay with people commenting on my body. I don't care what my husband's job is. You cannot comment on my body. And I think everyone tells me, have thick skin, don't read the comments. And I'm like, you're missing the point.
Mm.
You shouldn't have to, no matter who you are, you shouldn't have to have thick skin. You shouldn't have to not read comments. Those comments should be nice. And I think that's my biggest, I guess, annoyance is the comments of, oh, it's part of it. It's not, it shouldn't be. And we excuse it, and we need to stop.
It does interest me how people think it's okay to go on and make comments like that. I mean, from a human point of view, It's crazy to think that someone might say that in real life. Like, it just wouldn't happen. You know what I mean? So why do people think they can jump online when it's still got your name to it and say these types of things? It doesn't make sense to me.
No, neither. And it's a good thing that it doesn't make sense to you. If it doesn't make sense to us, we wouldn't do it. I think it's a really hard thing for any, in quotation marks, normal person for that to make sense to us. It doesn't make sense to me. But I think it comes from they don't have accountability. When they're posting online, there's no accountability. If you said that in person, you would be held accountable. When they're posting online, they don't have accountability. Most of them are anonymous, even though sometimes they put their face to it. No one's calling it out. No one's this is what I'm saying. We're all sitting here and watching people comment those things, and Facebook allows it, and all these social platforms and media allows it. We're allowing it, and they're not being called out on it, and it's accepted. And that's what I mean about we need to stop accepting it. And I know it's scary to call it out because I'm anxious myself. I still feel anxious and I feel physically sick talking about it, but it has to be called out. Otherwise, it will keep happening.
Chloe, I think you're doing a very brave thing because, like you said, sometimes when you stand up to bullies, they can double down. And I can understand why you kind of, I guess, have that anxiety attached to this. But I just want to say what you're doing is so important for not necessarily the trolls, because they will probably continue to do it. But I think it's so important for the young girls that read these comments and go, oh, there might be a point in my life where I have to take this kind of vitriol. So to see someone like yourself who does have a level of profile stand up and go, you know what, this actually isn't okay, and you might get this, but just know, and I stand with you, Chloe, and so does Robbie, that this is not the general consensus, the opinion of a handful of people that seem to be this echo chamber online. And I think that's why it is actually important that you're doing what you're doing.
Thank you. And that's what I said. I know I'm not naive in thinking that I'm all of a sudden going to fix this problem and people are going to stop commenting on women's bodies online. I'm not naive in thinking that. But if I can start a conversation, for example, I've had parents reach out and have said this has been a massive topic of discussion within their family, with their children, and even their husbands. Even if I start one conversation like that, I'm doing something. So.
And have you had support from the AFL? Because essentially being attached to the AFL is what brought this attention onto you. Have they kind of walked you through how to deal with this? We've seen some kind of conversations online about how some of the women that are married to players feel that pressure around the Brownlows time. Is there any programs in place, or are there any conversations from the AFL that actually support you women that are thrust into the limelight?
The football club have been really, really good. I've had everyone from the football club reach out, from the president to the wellbeing coordinator, I guess. I don't actually know his job title, but I've had everyone reach out and offer support and offer, offer extra resources if needed. And there's also the AFLPA, which is great in terms of, I guess, a program, not that I'm aware of in advance to this situation happening, if that makes sense. So I've received a lot of support and a lot of guidance since all these vile comments were coming in, and the football club have been amazing, and I couldn't ask for to be at a better football club. However, in terms of programs, I'm not aware of any program, I guess, in advance to teach us. I guess at the end of the day, unfortunately, it is our husband's workplace. But they have been amazing in terms of the support post these vile comments.
Well, Chloe, it's been a horrible time for you, but I guess the big thing we can hope from this is that your bravery to stand up means that some good things can come from it as well. So well done for being brave, and well done for really standing up as well. We appreciate you coming on the show.
Thank you for having me, guys.
Oh, thanks, Chloe.